All right, so what are some tax deductions for home-based businesses that are food related? So if you're looking to start a cottage food business from your home, you definitely want to be aware of what you can and cannot deduct as far as taxes. Now, really quick disclaimer, I am not an accountant, but I have been in the food business for quite some time. And our food business started at our home many years ago. But I definitely can tell you that some of these are things you need to write down. If you don't want to write it down, just go to our blog. You can actually print up a list we have on our blog. There's a link down below this video. You can check that out. It has a list of everything I'm about to tell you. So you can take that to your accountant, but be sure that if you're operating a business from home, and it's a home-based food business, these tax deductions you want to take advantage of if you can, and definitely be aware of all of them. So I'm going to give you 25 different tax deductions, and you might be surprised that some of these you may have never guessed, but some of them you may have already known about if you've already operated a food business from home. So I'm going to dive into this from beginning to the end. Number one, home office expense. Now, mortgage interest or rent. If a portion of your home is used exclusively for your food business, you can often deduct a portion of your mortgage interest or the rent, believe it or not, which is very interesting and definitely can save you a ton of money because that's in the thousands. Utilities, your prorated electricity, gas, and water expenses for the business for part of your home can also be used as a tax deduction. Now, you're operating an internet and phone, a portion of your internet and phone bills can also be deducted because many times you're operating a website or you're answering emails, you're using your internet for business purposes. Supplies and equipment. Now, anything that you're talking about here, this is interesting because things like cooking supplies, if you talk about ingredients, cooking utensils even, etc. If you go out and you buy a whole bunch of these items and you need them for your home-based food business to make your food product, those are business expenses, people. You got to definitely be aware of it. Packaging materials, so boxes, bags, and other packaging supplies dedicated solely to the purpose of your food products that maybe you sell at farmers markets or local restaurants, or if you sell at retailers, those are expenses as well. Small appliances, now, things like mixers, scales, if you're weighing stuff, blenders, any type of small appliance that you're purchasing for your home-based food business, keep the receipts, by the way, for everything. Those are also tax deductible. Large appliances depreciation. So if you purchase industrial ovens or refrigerators, you may be able to actually deduct its value over time. Now, of course, under cottage food laws, many states don't allow you to use commercial equipment. But if you're using larger equipment that's not exactly commercial equipment, but it's not the standard mixer on your counter, but it's $500, $600, $800, $900, that's something that you can deduct. So be aware of that too. Most cottage food laws within every state will not exactly allow you to bring on commercial equipment like commercial blenders or ovens that have hoods or ventilation systems. So keep that in mind too. Next up, transportation and travel. So if you're going to a farmer's market, that is travel. If you're going outside of the state to meet with a vendor and you're talking business, that's travel too. So vehicle expenses such as mileage, fuel, maintenance, etc. for business-related trips are things you need to keep receipts of and give them to your accountant. Those are also tax deductible for your home-based food business. Now, travel expenses such as lodging and even meals for business travel. So you're going to another state, let's say, and you're looking for a co-packer for your spices or something. You're meeting with another company for a vending vendor. All of that's related to business travel. You want to keep your receipts for that. Parking and tolls. Yes, believe it or not, if you park somewhere, business-related trips that are related to parking your vehicle in a parking garage, and maybe you're taking an airplane, you're flying somewhere and you're coming back, all of those expenses for the parking, tolls, anything of that sort, going through different tolls through different states, all of those need receipts, and you need to make sure you keep track of that because that too is also an expense that can be used for your home-based food business. Now, of course, next up is marketing and advertising. If you don't realize this, yes, believe it or not, if you are advertising online, or you're doing Facebook ads, even if they're local Facebook ads, that's all considered marketing and advertising. Keep your receipts from those transactions and be sure that you turn them into your accountant. Website costs, for instance, hosting, domain names, design of your website, the maintenance of your website, all of these things come into play when you have a home-based food business and they're business related. So those are also tax deductible as well. Social media advertising, again, like I mentioned before, ads on platforms like Facebook or Instagram, even on LinkedIn, if you're running ads anywhere on those websites to sell your food product or bring awareness of your business, those are also expenses. Now, traditional advertising. So let's say you're doing some local stuff, maybe at a college or university, or maybe at a farmer's market, you're handing out flyers, local newspaper ads even, or posters, if you're not using the internet or the website or that sort. All of those ads that you're doing in print and local distribution, those can also be tax deductible. So you want to make sure, again, only thing you want to think about when I'm telling you the list of what I'm talking about is what's so important is keeping track. Excuse me. You want to keep track. Make sure that you keep track. Receipts, receipts, receipts. No matter what it is, even if it's a handwritten receipt from a vendor, keep it. If it's a receipt from a store, keep it, okay? So keep in mind, all of this you should back up, of course, with the IRS if they ever ask you about it. So professional services. This is another one that comes to mind really quick. Some things like accounting fees, costs related to accounting or even bookkeeping. So let's say you run your home-based food business, but you're actually giving all the receipts and stuff to an accountant, but they're charging you $30, $40, $50 a month to maintain the bookkeeping. That is also an expense, by the way, guys. So you need to make sure you keep that in mind. Legal fees. So if you have to consult with a lawyer for contracts or other business-related matters, keep that information as well, because if you pay a lawyer or someone to consult with in regards to contracts, those are also expenses. Also, consulting fees. So if you hire an expert, like me, for instance, we have consulting, and if you want to talk to me, you keep your receipt from the order that you buy from me and make sure that you turn that in as well. If that's something like consulting that improves the business or improves the output of your business, or you can grow via a consultant or consulting with someone else, that's definitely something else that can be tax deducted as well. Keep in mind, guys, all of these items are things that you can definitely write off. Like I said before, many of these things you may be aware of, but a few more, I'm going to hand out a few more here really quick. These are some things that you might not have thought about. So for instance, cottage food laws in some states, licenses and permits are actually required. They could be $50 a year, they could be $100, they could be any amount of money, but you've got to keep the receipts for those too, because those are also permits and licenses that you need. A business license, for instance, fees for local or state business licenses, all of that too rolls into one. You can definitely write that off as well. Now, in some situations, you need a food handler's permit. Now, those costs for obtaining or renewing food handler permits annually or even every 2 or 3 years, those are also expenses that help you operate your business. Keep your receipts for that. Now, if you potentially need to have it, health inspection fees. So there are costs associated with health inspections from your local city or county health department. If that comes into play with your home-based food business, keep that information too as well. Sometimes they do charge you a fee to have that inspection, and sometimes it's $50 up to $150 every year or as needed. So you want to make sure that you get receipts from the local health inspector if they're going to have to come in and inspect. All right, next up would be insurance. Now, most cottage food states actually do not require insurance, but if you're running a business, I highly recommend liability insurance, business-related insurance premiums that you pay every single month. And if you're having an insurance policy for your food business at home, definitely also write that off. Health insurance. So if self-employed, you might be able to deduct the cost of health insurance premiums. If your business has grown to where you've got actual employees or even you've got other family members that you're paying them, and you want to make sure that you're covering their health insurance, your small business from home can also write that off as well. Okay, next up, employee expenses. So eventually, as cottage food transitions into a full-time business, wages and salary might come into play. So payments to employees, if you have any, you want to let your accountant know about that. That's also something that could be tax deduction as well, or at least benefit your business tax-wise. Employee benefits, health insurance, retirement contributions for employees. So if you open up a small little 401k account, or if you've got some retirement account, you're paying people who are working for you at your home-based food business, that too is something you need to let them know. Now, here's just kind of a couple things off the top of my head, miscellaneous things that you might want to think about. So business meals, you get 50% of the cost of the meals during business meetings or travel as per the IRS guidelines. So if you spend $100 on a meal, about $50 of that could be actually used. Education and training courses, so costs, business-related courses or workshops or even seminars that you send people to. If you have a bakery, for instance, that's also something. Remember that documentation is crucial for all of these deductions, so keep detailed records of receipts for all of your expenses and turn them into your accountant. So if you have any questions about tax deductions for your home-based food business, as we just discussed in this podcast, I'll upload onto YouTube. Let us know down below the video. If you hear us on our podcast, drop us a line on our podcast as well. And I'll see you guys on our next video.